Hey, Mike.
Hey man, how you doing?
Fantastic and excited. All in one.
Touche.
Fansighted.
What?
Yeah, I don't know. We have another beer from Treehouse's Woodstock brewery. So that's in Woodstock, Connecticut, where they started doing ciders. And then they started doing beers and making, as Mike is showing right now, very simple labels. Very
I
simple labels.
I love them.
Very, very simple. So this is an IPA. It just says, look at that. It says IPA. And then if you want to know what it is, you got to go look at the back. And then this is Citra and Nelson. Again, just Citra and Nelson. Just no craziness.
No frills.
With profoundly enjoyable characteristics. Into our, what do they call this glass?
Good question. I'm not sure. Gorgeous.
Yeah, best glass ever. It's perfect. Like you can fit a whole 16-ounce can in it with a good head. And there I am. And I just did what I did last video that I didn't want to do was fill it to the top so I can actually get a nose, but whatever. Like, look at this. Actually, it's really like the etching. Oh, there it goes. The etching does come across. Look at that. It's
And at least the color looks right.
gorgeous. Yeah, that's actually a good point. Yeah, it looks pretty much like it does in person on camera. That doesn't always happen.
Yeah, it's sort of just like tropical juice, that kind of a color, right? I
Yeah.
mean, like I don't know, pale orange yellow, I guess.
Or did you say orange yellow or orange yellow?
Orange yellow.
Oh, I heard what I wanted to hear. But yeah, and then like a good finger. I had two fingers ahead initially, and then it started dissipating.
I got two fingers.
Okay.
But if you can
So
get
full
four, it's not
disclosure.
worth it.
So full disclosure, Mike and I have had this beer, but we split it three ways. So um, it was just like a quick like I don't even remember. I don't. Do you remember what this like? I remember liking it, but that's about it.
I remember nothing.
Yeah. Want to get a
So
nose?
yeah, let's do it.
Like it, and everyone's gonna be like, Sean, the hops say Citra Nelson, so duh, what you just said makes sense. I want to be like, this smells like if Citra Nelson just made a baby.
Yeah,
Just
it's
like soft
yeah, no.
tropical fruits, and then that like white wine character.
Yep. It is very much that very strong, sort of that astringent white wine, that
Yeah.
sort of like not Riesling. Riesling's too sweet, but like more like a what do you call that? A Pinot Grigio kind of a smell, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, you do get like citrus zest. You do get a hint of peach. You get a big blast of like mango and that kind of tropical fruit.
Yep.
It smells awesome.
It just smells so soft too, like such soft fruits. Like, oh man, I didn't really read the back of it. I'll read it after we take our first sip. You want to try it?
So it,
Cheers. Oops, wrong way. Hold on. Clink. Wait, that was really good. Ooh. Given the nose, I wasn't really expecting that. I'm not mad at it. I was expecting a little bit more sweeter, you know what I mean? But a little bit more. But this is wow.
yeah,
Hold on.
I like how strong that crackery malt, that saltine like crackery malt comes through.
It's almost reminiscent of like a pale ale because you get like given as much as how much malt comes through on a normal IPA, you're normally used to hops. You're not usually normally getting that type of malt character. But
Yep.
the way that that plays with the like there's this like green vegetal hoppiness, but the Nelson part of the hop also comes through like across the mid palate, and then that green kind of bitterness bitters off.
Yeah. It is much less tropical on the flavor. Um, but not in any way that's negative. It's extremely, extremely good.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
you do still get like almost like a spritz of orange. You still do get that peach. Um, you do get that astringent white wine kind of character, that Pinot Grigio kind of a thing. But you do get, again, you get, as Sean mentioned, a nice vegetal greenness that is just awesome. And the bitterness is still, it's more vegetal than even pithy, but it's
Yeah.
nice. It's earthy. It got a strong like grassy component, and like I love that sort of like unsalted saltine cracker, you know?
Yes, yes. You said that before for other stuff, and that's like
Yeah.
a great characteristic.
Well, it's funny because when you say crackery, like I don't know, maybe someone thinks you're thinking of a Ritz, you know? I don't know.
That would be weird. Oh, it tastes like diacetyl or diacetyl.
Mm.
This has flavors and aromas, ripe citrus, and Sauv Blanc. It doesn't say Pinot Gris, so I think
Yeah.
that we fact checked this can, and that's the wrong fact they put on the can because
Sauv Blanc
clearly
makes sense though. I mean, I'm not a wine connoisseur, but I just
Mike
knew
was doing a bit to try to say that we're better at figuring out what's in their beers than they are, and you just came right in and just stepped on the bit.
yep, that's fine.
Thanks.
Um, but I think that's probably. I mean, I would still say Grigio because that's just like really like my frame of reference. But Sauv Blanc makes sense. I think that um, like if you think like Riesling or something, that's like very very sweet. That's not what you're getting
Yeah.
here. You are
No.
getting that sort of
No.
that more that uh, bitter is not right, but like that sort of astringent, that harsh. It's
Yep.
somewhat harsh. It's a. I don't have a good word for it because I'm not a wine drinker really, but you know what I mean. It's just that little more earthy, less sweet punch out of that white wine.
Yeah, no, and we said this multiple times with Nelson beers. So what you're saying definitely makes 100% sense to me, at
Yep.
least. To me, at least. A lot of people watching are like, I have no idea what they're talking about. However, they did steal something that like we say a lot. In a sense, it is precisely the type of beer we desire to accompany any occasion, big or small, and it can both fade into the background or absolutely delight you if your attention desires.
You know,
They watch a lot
I'm
of
not,
Nerdsense videos. They watch a lot of Nerdsense videos, and they just rephrase what we said 1,000 times.
and you know, I'm not sure I would necessarily agree with this one, but I can tell you this much: I can still smash a bunch of these.
Oh yeah, no, I think so, if someone gave this, if someone just goes, "Here, I went to Treehouse in Woodstock. You ever had anything by them?" I'd be like, "No, cool. I like Treehouse." And I had this. I'd be like, I can't just have a discussion and not want to talk about this beer."
Yeah, I also think that it's. I mean, I think that it is soft. I think it is something
Yeah,
that you can just kind of sip on, and I'm not sure ignore is how I would use to describe
it's a
this beer.
punch.
It's a punch, and it is delicious. I do love, um, I do love that it really does balance everything, right? As far as like New England IPA, and that's not always the word people use to describe them, but it does have that nice base crackery malt. It does have that fleeting sweetness, and it does have that bitter earthiness. It that vegetal note. It does sort of cover all those things. You're not looking for anything um, to balance it. It balances itself, and it's really really nice. And this glass is perfect display piece for it, by
Oh,
the way.
100%. The one last thing I want to touch on, at least from the IPAs coming out of this place, is if anyone's familiar with Treehouse enough to like understand like the usually the yeast profile you're going to get from their hoppier beers, like it's that like bubble gummy kind of sweetness, like it's kind of prevalent through a lot of them. That's not here. Like they're definitely using some type of different yeast. And it's comes through. It's interesting because how Mike was saying in the beginning, which is this last thing, like the can art's very just all the can arts are very similar to each other. There's no crazy names. There's no crazy story on the back, like you get with a lot of Treehouse beers. And I think that's kind of how the yeast comes across, where it just kind of lets these beers be. I'm going to say simple, but I don't mean that in a bad way.
Well, I think they they um, they separated themselves in a good way from what the main place in Charlton is doing, right?
Yeah.
They have, I think it's an overall aesthetic that they even have there. It is very simple, very idyllic. It's letting the ingredients speak for themselves.
Hmm.
Um, and this comes from a guy like I joked with Sean off air, like, that, I was joking calling him a treehouse apologist when really I'm probably closer than he is. Um, but I'm not necessarily saying that, or I'm not even making the claim that these are better or anything, but they are distinct and they are delicious all on their own.
Yeah, I agree. 100% agree.
So good.
Yeah, if you guys, and we said this in the last video, if you guys are in the Woodstock area or just in that Connecticut area and you're near this place, 20 minutes, 40 minutes, it's worth the stop. It's worth the stop. Just to kind of walk around, grab a beer, a cider, grab some cans of cider to go. It's definitely worth it, especially if Treehouse is your thing. And you like their IPAs. This is something that you have to try to kind of see what they're kind of stepping out of their comfort zone a little bit and kind of paring themselves down. I would say in
Yeah,
a very good way.
yeah, I agree. I couldn't agree more. It made me excited about them in a naturalistic way instead of
Yeah.
like when I go there, like if I go to the one in Tewksbury and I have something that's amazing, like, oh wow, like I get excited when I'm having it. Like when we showed up to this place, I was excited walking in the building. You know what I mean? It was
Yeah,
like this
and
this barn.
well, the best part about it, and this is going to go a little long, and we didn't say it in the last video, so I don't feel like I'm repeating myself. We were heading to Beer Palooza. Like we did say that in the last video. Videos. We're heading to Beer Palooza, and I was like, and we passed through, and we hit it, and I saw someplace on the highway, and I was like, is that near? And I was like, Mike, look up where Treehouse's Connecticut farm is, and he's like, it's like 20 minutes from here, and I was like, okay, we have to go. So we
Well, to be
rerouted
honest,
ourselves.
first I said, what? What are you talking about?
You didn't know they had you didn't know that this place
No,
existed? Oh my god.
no. But then when I was like, is this, you smell like a fermentary? Is that what this is? What are you talking about? You're like, yeah, that's it. I was like, and I literally showed him, I was like, this is the place. And I showed him my photo. You're sure? He's driving, Hey, Sean, in your face. Hey, is this the place? And it was 20 minutes from us. It worked out. And to be fair, it was probably 10 minutes from us. And then the other 10 minutes was driving on their fucking farm.
I was like, are we going the right way?
Yeah.
But yeah, no,
It was wild.
it was awesome. It was worth it. So it's like an hour and a half total if we're gonna do from like where we are ish now.
Yeah, maybe a little less, honestly. But like I think it's totally worth. Like I wouldn't mind taking the wives out and just going
Yeah,
maybe
yeah,
stopping
yeah.
somewhere to eat and stop there and head back home. I don't think it would be
Or bring food there. Yeah, yeah. Either or. But yeah, no, it's a great location. Lots of outside seating. Very, very, very friendly staff.
maybe some
Um,
steak sandwiches.
Mike made these steak sandwiches for the ride up that were just unreal. No one's watching right now, but it doesn't matter. I still have to post all the pics that you sent. So be on the lookout for an Instagram post, or if you're watching this later, go on Instagram. There'll be an album someplace that has a bunch of pictures with steak sandwiches. So down in the comments, if you had anything from Treehouse's Woodstock Brewery, especially their IPAs, what do you think of their IPAs compared to the other IPAs? What are we talking? Are we liking them more? Are we liking them less? Let's have a conversation. And then from there, nerdsense.net, Facebook, and Instagram, and all of our other social media spots, but it's only those two, I think. And then, thanks everybody for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe to those notification bells so you never post the videos. And I'm Sean. That's Mike. This is Nerdsense. Cheers.